in the section today is going to be about angles and angle measures. So we have section 1.6. Our objective is to be able to measure and classify angles and add angle measures. So if you have a ray PQ, what is the endpoint of a ray PQ, Kevin? It's going to be P. So as long as you're drawing a ray, this ray is Q, P. If you drew it over here, another example of the same type of ray would be P, Q. Doesn't matter which direction it's facing. The side that doesn't have an arrow always goes first, and the side that does have an arrow always goes second, and we write the arrow on top of the side that has it. So he is correct. The endpoint of that would be P. Line segments with the same length are what? Congruent segments. Man, you said that well. Thank you. Congruent. Does anybody remember what that symbol looks like? Yeah, Taylor? Exactly right. So equal sign with that little squiggle above it. A pair of opposite rays form a... So this one's one we kind of have to visualize. So if I have one ray going this direction, an opposite ray would make it be going which direction? Yep, the other way. Left. So what did that form? A line. So a pair of opposite rays form a line. And then a rule in geometry that is accepted without proof is a postulate. So postulate. Angles. Two rays with a common endpoint. An example of an angle would be, we have a common endpoint. I'm going to name this angle A, B, C. Okay? So that's an example of an angle. The sides are two rays. So if I was going to name the sides of this angle, how would I name it? So what are the sides? We know they're going to be two rays. Taylor? So I agree 100% with one of those. So BC, BA. So again, remember guys that endpoint has to come first. And then our common endpoint of both of those is the vertex. What's our common endpoint here? It is B. And then again, we're going to measure later today. And then congruent angles are two angles with the same measure. An acute angle. If you guys saw this written as inequalities, we would have 0 is less than our angle measure. I'm going to write that out just so my symbols don't confuse you, which is less than our 90 degrees. So it cannot be 0 or 90 and be considered acute. It has to be between 0 and 90. For it to be a right angle, it's exactly 90 degrees. And an obtuse angle is going to be between 90 and 180, but not inclusive of the 90 or the 180. So it's going to be 90 degrees is less than that angle measure. Which is less than 180. And then a straight angle is exactly 180 degrees. It is a straight line. So I'm going to give you a second to draw that angle. It should look like this, DEF. So when you look at this angle, we want to find the vertex. What was the vertex based on the last definition? Yep. Common endpoint. Thank you. Okay, it's the common endpoint. So which one of these is the common endpoint? E. So we see that both of the rays end at E. If we were going to name the sides of this angle, how could I name them? Natalie?
D and F.
So D and F are on the sides. but we're going to name them as rays. So can anybody? Taylor? Yep. ED and DF. And when we do that, we put the line on top of it, and the arrow goes in the direction of the one that has the arrow. So the end point is D. Oh, the end. What am I doing? Ignore the second one. La-di-da. Sorry. ED and EF. Whew. Where that end point is E. So since the end point is E, it goes first. The other side that has the arrow gets an arrow on it. So since this one has the arrow next to it, arrow. This one has the arrow next to it, arrow. Okay. And then we're going to name the angle. When you name an angle, and we're going to be doing this all year, the vertex has to be in the middle. So we could name this angle DEF or angle FED. But that vertex has to be in the middle. In cases where we have just the vertex and we have this with the vertex and just one angle, occasionally, not very commonly, you can name it angle E because it is the vertex of the only angle we have. But you need that angle sign, which is like that little alligator mouth, and then you have to have the rest of them. So if that's the case, why are these incorrect? Angle EDF, angle D, angle EFD. Why are those incorrect? Okay, this side of the room has been answering questions. Natalie's counts on that side of the room because she's been answering questions. So let's go over here. Why are those incorrect? E's not in the middle. Vertex is not in the middle. That was a fitting question for you to answer. What's up? So how many angles are in this diagram? You don't have to tell me that. Can you name one of the angles in this diagram? Can you say it one more time? So they are acute, but can you name them with the letters?
A and C.
A. What goes in the middle?
B.
A, B, C. Okay. Deshaun, can you name another one?
A, B, D.
A, B, D. And Jaquan, can you name the last one? Can you say it one more time? Yep, D, B, C. Okay, so they named our three angles, but there's other ways to name these exact angles. So I'm going to show you those as well, which involves me highlighting in another color. So ABC is the angle I'm going to highlight in red. Instead of naming it ABC, how else could we have named it? CBA. So angle CBA. Instead of angle, let's change my color. ABD. How else could I have named that? So instead of being ABD, we could have named it. Yeah, Tina? Exactly right. And then our last one, let me change my color. Green looks good. We have DBC. And how is another way I could have named that? Kina? CBG. So notice it's just the reverse of the first one. As long as that vertex stays in the middle, you're going to be fine. So instead of it being ABC, CBA. All of them are just flipped. So we ended up with 3 angles in our diagram. But we found 2 different ways to name each of them. What can we say about these angles, Jaquan? They both appear to be right angles. So we're going to use the word appear because we don't have anything telling us a measure or the symbol, but that is correct. They appear to be right angles. For us to definitely know it, we could have the 90 degrees in there or that box. So if we go to question A, 42 degrees. Juan, can you tell me if that's going to be acute, obtuse, right, or straight?
Acute.
It's acute, right? Because acute, it's smaller than 90. So we say that like that, we have it's going to be acute. Back here, Yusef, what is 180 going to be?
Straight.
It's a straight angle. 180, if it's exactly 180, it's a straight angle. Jasmine, 112 degrees. Obtuse. It's going to be bigger than 90, but not yet 180. Obtuse. Natalie, what did you get for 90 degrees?
Right.
Oh, yes, sorry. That works too. Right. Let's go to the next one. So, Natalie R., what did you get for E? Yep, straight angle is correct, but D is a right angle as well. Okay, over here, Dante, can you tell me what the picture of F looks like? It's going to be obtuse. And then over here, you guys have all really talked today. So Trinity, can you tell me what G is going to be? So what does that little box in the corner tell us? Buddy, you want to help her out? Yep. It's going to be a right. So remember when we have that little box, it's going to be a right. And the last one, this is the one I drew up here because it didn't finish on the page. That's that H. Can anybody tell me that one? Yep. It is going to be acute.